boom, 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 boom. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the March 31st edition of Morning Mindset. Last one of the month, last one of the quarter. How are you doing on your goals? We did not hit ours, and we will talk about those next week, probably Monday. Monday we'll talk about it, and we'll see what we can set up for goals there. So, hey, how are you? A couple things I need from you. When you get in here, let me know where you're from. Let me know how the weather is in your area and what's in your cup. For us, right now, it's about 55 degrees-ish outside. It is going to turn into a garbage pail of a day. We are forecasted to have like F2 tornadoes, 70-mile-an-hour winds, hail from ping pong to tennis ball, and that is all supposed to get down starting about noon. It rained a little this morning. It's supposed to rain a little here in a couple hours, and then they said noon to 2 is when it's supposed to start and go 7 to 8. So we are in for an amazing weather day today, which means I am going to bust my hump to get as much printing as possible done, so that way I can get those machines unplugged and not have to worry about that. So you do that, when a storm is forecasted. What do you do with your equipment? Do you make sure it's unplugged? Do you leave it in and just ride? What do you tell me what you're going to do? So yeah, fun day. Great way to end it up there. And look at this. We got new member. Thanks, Renee, for becoming a YouTube member. If you want, you can click on that. You can become a member. That's awesome. What's up, Chuck? Good morning to you. Renee has got, excuse me, and I got a little tickle in my throat this morning. Renee is 53 in Chicagoland, supposed to get up to 60s to go along with severe storms we're forecasting to get. Yeah. Like, it's moved. And now, like, the center of it is right over us. They're like, listen, you're just going to get pounded. You're going to get everything. Everything is going to get screwed. It is going to be bad news today. And then this morning, I saw one that moved a little farther east and south. So if that's the case, then you won't get it and we won't get it. And I feel bad for those people, but it's not us. We only have, I've dealt with a storm like this 3 times. Twice. 2 times that I remember. So this will be the 3rd time. First time was before Corey and I got together. Part of a tree fell on the house, took out the mast, the electrical mast, and put a hole in the roof and sent water down the breaker panel and fried that. So she was without power for a few days, which was awesome. The last time was in 2020. Is that right? Yeah, 2020. They came through. Another tree fell on the house, and what we thought was fine ended up busting part of a window and pushing that in and drenching everything inside. So we ended up having to get a wall rebuilt, roof replaced, window replaced, and it was COVID. So by the time everything was said and done, we were in that project for just about a year, and it was a magical time. We have 1 tree left. So, hey, I guess we'll find out today. Last night we were sitting in the hot tub, just kind of enjoying that after a day of hard work. And we're like, wonder if anything's going to blow away in the yard, or if this tree's going to fall, or what's going to happen. I said, well, we'll just take it as it comes, right? That's all we can do. So it is looking like some crazy weather. A lot of times, because where we are is we're in Illinois. We're in what are we? Northwestern Illinois. We're in northwest, right? I can say it. Right. Eastern Iowa, northwestern Illinois. We're in the Quad Cities, and a lot of times when stuff comes from west to east, as it hits that river, because we're surrounded. Actually, we got 2 rivers between us. We've got Rock River that's like 2 blocks away, and then we've got Mississippi that's on the other side. A lot of times when the storms hit that Mississippi, they kind of fizzle out for a little bit, and then they kind of pick up back again on the other side of this river here. It's like the river kind of breaks it up some, and then it starts to regroup on there. So it does like one of these things and comes back, but sometimes not. So yeah. It'll be a fun day. It'll be a fun day here. Morning, Brian. 50-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah, they're saying 70 here. 70. I think the last. Let's see what the last update was, because it was not. Wind advisory. Let's see. West winds 25 to 35, gusts up to 70 miles an hour from 1 p.m. today to 1 p.m. tomorrow. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. We'll see how much fun that's going to be. Let's see how many things go flying around, right? Like, because that's going to be horrible. But the high says it's going to be 70. That even makes for a better storm. And it looks like next week we had a day of like 67, 68, and it's going to be storming. So it's that time of year. We start to warm up, and when it warms up, we get wind and storms. So good times for all. We're in the Quad Cities, which is Iowa-Illinois border. Like I said, we are northwestern Illinois. Yeah, I'd say that. Northwestern Illinois. And East Central Iowa's where that. Arkansas there. Good. 5 things. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. I need 5 things out of you. 5 banking admin stuff, press orders, clean patches. I need to get with you, Renee, on some stuff. I think I need a new leather patched hat because yeah, there's a little. I'm going to do a little switch up roo, and then maybe I can pick that up from you next Friday when we're in Dax. Because 2 weeks Dax in Chicago, because Dax, Minnesota is going on right now. So if you're in the Minnesota area enjoying that cold weather, hey, what better thing to do than go to a trade show and at least enjoy that cold weather inside a casino? Send shirt choices to a customer. We've got a customer who they picked up even from screen to screen, you know how that looks when what a color actually looks like versus what it actually is. I said, let's just order it in and see, because they're going with a violet shirt and they're either looking at a pink or a white print. So you tell me, violet shirt, it's the Gildan 8000. Would you go a white print or a pink print on that? You let me know what you would go with that. Thanks, Cody. We're going to try. Yeah. We're in the Midwest, unlike Pilar. Pilar lives in Denver, but for whatever reason, she thinks that Colorado's in the Midwest, and it is not. It's not. It's mountains. It's not Midwest at all. Cody's got 38 there in Pennsylvania with coffee in the cup, quoting, digitizing, DTF printing, shirt pressing, and maybe work on taxes. That sounds like a good thing for you. Good morning to you, Dawn. How are you? Ooh, yeah. What I want to do is kind of, I'm going to be switching stuff over. So here's the plan. We might be doing kind of a rebranding. I know we've talked about it for a while. We've got crafting the cash that we need to take care of and get done, so that way it makes more sense for all the videos that we're going to have upcoming with white toner. Laser is going to get done. I promise that's going to happen. We got DTF stuff, and I got a couple other projects in the works. So that's going to get rebranded there. And then Fat Dad, I think we're going to, Fat Dad Custom Designs. We're trying to figure out the best way to do this, because we got Level Up that I think is going to handle all of our retail side of things. But Fat Dad Custom Designs, it might get shortened up to like FDP, for Fat Dad Prints. So that way, it encompasses everything that we do, because we print. So, whether that's the DTF transfers, whether that's the screen printed transfers, whether that's the printed HTV transfers, the specialty materials with the HTV, the signs, the banners, the decals, the magnets, the canvases, the yard signs, all of that stuff. Just Fat Dad Prints kind of goes all on that. So I'm thinking there might be time to do some stuff, and I think it's going to be a second quarter chat. So we will get in on that for you. Free, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Look at that 49 rain there in Northern Kentucky. No liquids currently. Fixing 3D printer. That's good. Order nice. Cut order very nice. That all sounds great. And Jerry, good morning to you. Tea in the cup, balmy 45 degrees. Need to meet with nursing home today about 5K shirts. Very nice. Go get it. Sounds like you need a new flask cap tumbler too. Yeah. I think Corey has all those stashed away, because we didn't use. I don't think we took them to Long Beach. Let's look at that. But so here's what's going on from now over the next couple weeks. Today and tomorrow, because it started yesterday, Dax, Minnesota. So if you're there, make sure to stop by some booths, check some people out, stop by and see David and Clay over there at Corel Trainers. I talked to them for a little bit this week, and everything seems to be going swimmingly with them. Aaron has a booth there with OSG, so make sure to stop by and check him out. And then next week, and then the other thing this weekend, which Hudson is super excited for, and it's he's what, 7, 8? He'll be 8 this year, right? I got to do math. Yes, he'll be 8 this year. 7 now, he'll be 8 in here. So he started finding that, that wrestling zone. So, he's been watching YouTube videos, he's been doing that and playing with the characters, and this weekend's WrestleMania. So he's pretty excited about that. Tonight, SmackDown, and then Hall of Fame, and then tomorrow and Sunday. So he's really geeked on it. And I remember that age of being fun and watching that. So I've kind of gotten back into it, watching it with them. So we're looking forward to a fun weekend of wrestling. So that's this weekend. The next weekend, if you didn't know already, it's Easter, right? Easter came and got here pretty quick. So you only got two First Fridays left, today and next one. But you've got that going on next weekend. And then the following weekend is going to be DAX Chicago. So DAX Chicago, we will be up there. There's a chance I could be hanging out in a couple booths. I could be hanging out in the Corel Training booth. I could be hanging out in the OSG booth. I could be hanging out in the American Print and Supply booth. Ooh, what is American Print and Supply, you say? American Print and Supply. Ooh, that's somebody new. So American Print and Supply is who DTF2U has now become. They were going through kind of a brand reorganization of different things. And so now DTF2U has become American Print and Supply. So that's who we use for all of our DTF needs. That's where we get our film from, where we get our ink from, our equipment, our supplies. That's where we get everything from. The team over there has been really good to us. And so we like to repay the favor. So we're going to go up there and we're going to meet with them on a couple things. We kind of had a good talk earlier in the week about maybe doing a little content creation and going down to the corporate office that's not too far from us, maybe doing some videos down there. The other thing that they have is going to be cut and sew. That's right. So they do full cut and sew dye sublimation. So we're kind of working on how's the best way to set stuff up, because they're in one market, but they want to break into another market. We got to talking about different things, and so they're working on that. So full cut and sew, whether it's one piece or 100 pieces, they're able to help you out with that. So really looking forward to how that's going to plan out. There's a lot of fun things that I feel we have in the works for it, and can't wait to see what else that holds. Something else that we're in the works with is we got talking. What was it? Tuesday night, Wednesday night? I don't even. All the nights run together anymore. Everything runs together. But we were looking at a digital marketing agency, right? And you're like, well, what is that? It's basically you're helping small businesses, market themselves, come up with the websites, do the flyers, do everything. So we've always handled like the print side of it, right? Like I can handle doing your flyers, handle doing your business cards, anything you need printed, your shirts, your mugs, any of that stuff we can handle. But on the digital side for the website, I just don't have the time to be building and managing out these websites for it. So wow, we talked with a friend of ours who is in that niche, and they do really well at it. And so said not necessarily a partnership, but more of a collaboration. Here we can work together on some stuff and see what we can do on it. So we're setting up a call for that today, which leads me to my top 5. We've got DTF printing that we are going to get rocking and rolling on as soon as we get off this. Why? Because I'm gonna print up until I feel safe. Everything that is rush is going to get done. Some other stuff just might wait till tomorrow. I guess tomorrow's Saturday, maybe Monday. But we're going to, print all of the rush stuff and get that out today. But then I want to get stuff shut down because I don't want to take the chance of that storm. You tell me, you tell me, like I said, we asked that, right? On equipment. Storms are coming. What do? Do you leave your equipment plugged in or unplug it? You tell me. Let's see. Cold 51, hate it. It is what's it say here? Temperatures are jumping. We're gonna get rocked today. I think like I said, it was like 56 here. Jerry, good morning. Carry the one, solve for X minus Q, and you got it. That's what we got to do right there. George, good morning to you. See you shortly. Jerry, meeting with the nursing home to give them a quote for shirts for fundraiser 5K designs. Right. I appreciate the suggestions on how to approach it. Going with lots of anxiety. Hand covering eyes, hand orange covering eyes. I don't know what the orange part is, but you got this, Jerry. What's the worst that happens? They say no, right? And you learn a little something. What I've been trying to do is when we lose jobs to see if I can find out why. And the jobs that we have lost, a lot of it has been price, and it's not necessarily service. Like you provide great service and that, or just our budget just isn't there for it. And one of the things is on shirt wise, I'm looking at stuff and they're going, 100% cotton on it, and I just said, okay, you're saving a couple bucks, but you are now putting your logo, your message on a crap shirt. Like, is that really what you want to present? Because you got to think, how many impressions is that shirt going to get? When you use a nicer shirt, even going from 100% cotton to, a 50-50, the price, you're not really changing much in price. Want to ring spun cotton, go to a tri blend. The price can vary, but when you go with the lowest end thing, is anybody really going to wear that shirt again for that event? Probably not. They might wear it for that event and realize, oh, this wasn't the greatest feeling shirt, and there it goes. So at least try and offer a nicer quality shirt so your message gets seen more. And so that's what I try and tell people. Hey, we are not, perfect fit for everyone. We do our best to provide, the top quality products at a fair price for them, and we believe that our service extends above all. And there is some jobs that we've lost due to pricing, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just not going to do it. Now, on the flip side of that, what I find, really funny is we've done stuff for other printers. Whether we're doing DTF transfers, whether we're doing or screen printed transfers, DTF transfers, completed jobs, 100 shirt orders, 500 shirt orders, science banners, decals, whatever. When we've lost some of them, I said, hey, we were using you, and I see you're using somebody else. Well, why was it? They're like, hey, we had to go with the cheapest price. I'm like, okay, I get that. I said, but let me just throw this nugget in your ear. I don't ever want to hear you complain about losing the customer to price, right? Because you're selling yourself on value and every service there. So if you've already said that I provide you a good service, I provide you a good value, that we, or partnerships in it, and your only hiccup is price, then we probably weren't made for each other to begin with. They're kind of like, oh, that's kind of a kick in the balls. And I'm like, it is, right? That's the thing. You can't just say, hey, it's a price thing. And then on the flip side of it, complain when you lose customers to price. I'm not complaining that we lose customers price. If they want to go somewhere else, great. If that's the only hang up, then, there probably is going to be more later down the road with more issues with pricing or demanding timelines. Nope. Here's our pricing. It's just what it is. We're just moving on from it. Now, can we adjust that? Yeah, depending on quantity. Okay, we're going to do this 3 times a year. Here's a PO for it. There's times where you kind of have to take a risk on it. Say, yes, we can do this, but they have to put some skin in the game too to make it real. Yes, yeah. Let's see, Ellen. Yep, I received an email that Volley is closing up shop on April 30th. Yes, just like Fetch, Volley never really caught on. It came in at a good time. COVID. When people were Zooming, it made a lot of sense, but it just could never really pick up the traction that it needed. They tried to work out, see if they could sell it to some people to be able to carry on, and it just looked like no terms were able to be reached on it. So as of April 30th, Volley will be no more. I'll still have my Volley shirt, and then I can wear it. Maybe it'll be a collector's item or something, right? Free says, Dex, these shows mainly see what's out there, or lots of just shaking hands and kissing babies. I've yet to attend a big show. After this year, I will no longer be coaching and have some extra free time. So DAX to me is, in fact, any show. DAX to me is kind of a mid-tier show. It's a regional area show, so it's here in the Midwest. If you got Kansas City, Minnesota, Chicago, they are smaller when you compare it to like an Impressions Expo. But to me, it's a lot of the education, what's there for that, the networking with the people, meeting with your vendors. So we'll see, the vendors that are local to us, our reps seeing that. Some will have new product, so you have there, but a lot of it comes down to the education side of it. That's what always means the most to me at a trade show, is what kind of education they offer. Last year, Printing United, it was out in Vegas. There was no education. There's no classes, no nothing. So I'm like, well, why would I even go? And they're like, well, they're doing education on the floor. The problem is when there's education on the floor, all that, I'm not saying 100% of the time, but most time that education is just geared towards their product line. Here's how this works with our product, because that's what they're there to do, is sell equipment, right? Sell product. It's not cheap to be in a trade show. On the low end, you're going to spend, $6,000-7,000, but especially when you start factoring in, travel expenses, lodging, food, employee wages, all that. It gets costly for a trade show. It's not unheard of for people to spend $25,000 to $50,000 on average, and some spend north of $100,000 or more. Like I said, I think Rock probably spent, by the time everything was said and done on theirs for Long Beach, $1 million. Wouldn't surprise me. But you go there for the education. DAX to me always feels like a very, very tight knit show, very community based, very network based. You can really get in there and talk with your people, talk with your vendors. To me, it's one of our favorite shows, and especially the Chicago one in particular. The reason being is that's where we've met some of our best friends at. We may have met them at other shows, but Chicago's kind of been home base for stuff now. There's that's what everybody goes to, whether it's an Indiana show or, whether they live in Indiana, Wisconsin, Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, Tennessee. What am I missing? What am I missing down there? Not so much Kentucky, Missouri, yeah, whatever. Tennessee, Kentucky, yeah, Kentucky, yeah, whatever. Michigan, that was the other one. But they travel there. That's a good regional show to go to, and the networking's fun. The conversation's amazing. The other good thing about DAX is they feed you. I mean, that's always fun, getting fed on Friday night after the show, and then we'll do after hours in the bar afterwards. We had been going to Buffalo Wild Wings, but it had always been. It seemed like when that was there, there's always something going on, playoffs or something, and the bar would be packed, and it was like, oh, you really couldn't hear. See, so when you just used a hotel bar, hey, that makes a lot more sense right there. But he says, storms, I power down, unplug, better safe than sorry, even with surge protectors. That's how I feel too, especially like looking and seeing, here's DTF printer, that's gonna, if I need to replace it, it's $25,000, right? I mean, going through and getting parts and trying to figure that out. What am I doing with that? Like, okay, board, whatever goes out in it, maybe spend $5 to $8 grand on parts. I'm not down with that. Same thing with the Roland. Nope, let's get it all done and get unplugged and go from there. Unsure how to approach the sales meeting. Suggestion on the sales side. Find out their needs. Ask their budget. And when you ask their budget, you're like, what are you looking for? What do you need? What are you struggling with? And how can we help take that pain away? What are your pain points on it? Ask them, going into any sales meeting, don't be afraid to ask that budget. Say, listen, what do we have for a budget to work with? That way, one, I'm not overpricing you out of the market on things, but then I can come up with some options in that budget. Now, if you tell me it's $12 a shirt, or okay, it's $12 a shirt, well, I'm not going to go right up to $12 a shirt. I'm going to say, here's what we can do with this, and this, and let you decide on it. Now, I was talking with somebody yesterday, and they said that they no longer do a good, better, best. They do a good, better, best in premium. So they do 4 because when they do good, better, best, everything always lands in that middle, right? I'm not going to be cheap ass, but I'm not going to expend everything. I'm going to go in the middle. Whereas if you offer 4, then they kind of start looking at those 2 a little more because it's just not a simple pick in the middle type thing. It's almost like this. If I ask you to rate something, on a scale of 1 to 10, but you can't use 7, you really start thinking about it, because 6, you're kind of like, were they really 6? And at 8, you're like, man, were they that good? So, it's all in that perception on. So what you want to do is find out, hey, how can we help each other with this? Find out timelines on stuff. Find out if they have print ready digital artwork that's ready for things, or if that's something that you need to create. Find out, in-hand date, find out budget. It's very exploratory, that first one. It's not sales. I need to ask as many questions, because that way I'm as prepared as possible to offer them a quote. When do they need it by? How many do they need by? What's a budget that they have? Or it's the artwork. Do they have, print locations? Is it front, back, sleeve? What is it that they are needing? What are their expectations with it? What do they want to accomplish with it? Is it just throw a shirt, or are they trying to do something well with it? So a lot of it just goes into that question, that question asking thing. Let me take a sip, because I do got Monster in my cup, White Monster. We're back to that. I never got to my 5 things. And now I look down. DTF, I've got a web store that needs to get done, mock-ups that need to get done, invoicing, and then I think I got a call to set up on this digital marketing agency to maybe that afternoon. It's done before then, so I can unplug stuff, right? Let's see. I've coded fundraisers bunches, not a fundraiser this type. Same concept, same thing. I go on it. They're gonna. This one, it's just a little larger. That's all. You got it with it. Let's see what I do there. Having a conversation about shirts with a client last. I have a good, better, best depending on their budget. Yeah, and that's what I'd always done, was good, better, best depending on their budget. But now I think I like that 4-ply, option, because it's like, here's what our options are. And sometimes it's hard to hit a budget. They're saying, hey, we need to be under $10 a shirt. Okay, well, I need this quantity for you, because that's not happening unless there's a quantity for it. And, here's the other things that we can meet with it. And colors too, because there still are some issues out there with whether colors are in stock or not in stock. So trying to find those. So really, pay attention to what they really need for it. A Chicago team in the playoffs, weird. I know, right? There's always something going on. And so it's just, yeah, the hotel bar is definitely a way to go. Let's see. Looking at the exhibitor list for Dax Tilling, no Alpha or SNS, just Sandmar. Yeah. And some of them, here's what they're looking at. Budgets have been cut. Travel budget, travel has gotten ridiculously priced. Chicago is, you're flying in, but there's not lots around the Tinley Park one. It's like Minnesota. There's nothing around that one. But Tinley Park, there, you don't, you have Hotel Circle across the way. But, to bring stuff into that Sandmar, I thought SNS would be there. That would, I thought Alpha would be there. But hey, I look at it as this way. If Sandmar is the only one, then they're getting all the eyes, right? Nobody's going to look at the other stuff. So I anticipate that being good. There's some quality stuff that I want to look at Sandmar and actually go through and see what we can have. For your first one, which one would you suggest? I love a DAX show. I love when a lot of this is going to depend on the type of stuff that you're doing too. DAX being the Decorated Apparel Expo is going to be very apparel focused. If you go to something to like Graphics Pro Expo, which I think is in Indianapolis this year, that is going to be more on, like the print side of things. So you're going to see more of like wide format printing. You're going to see more of that type of things, which is great if you also doing that. But if you're just strictly apparel, you're like, is that really going to serve me at all? If you're going full in on printing, like a Printing United in Vegas, or next year, I think it's in Atlanta. I think that's where it is next year because it rotates around where it is. That's, almost 100% all printing, and we're talking label printers, laminators, wide format, flatbed, all kinds of stuff there. If you're looking at, awards and things like that, the APA show in Vegas, they do that in February. We went to that this year, and there was even though it was a smaller show, there was a lot of great information there. So you've got that one. And then the Impressions Expo Long Beach, it kind of kicks off the trade show season. It's always really nice too. Because that's kind of where everybody goes to kick off the year, release new products, things like that. And there's always a ton of great education there. Atlantic City one, I heard mixed results on that. And then I feel like there's some stuff that's down in Fort Worth pretty regularly. And I feel like I'm missing that one there. I have never asked the budget question. I will do that today. They do not have a design. They need me to create it. Okay, so these are things that you can use on this. All right, what's your budget on this? Now, on that design, what are you charging for it? I know you probably, I'm not saying you did, but I know a lot of people are like, what do you mean? What am I charging for it? Even if you decide that you're going to throw in the design for it, charge for it. Charge, hey, we're building out a logo. We're doing this, $300, whatever. And then on the light item, show that you're taking it off, that you're taking care of it for them. Because somebody's got to come up with artwork. Somebody's got to make it. Somebody's got to do it. They're going to pay somebody else to do it, or, they're going to pay you to do it. They can't expect it to be free. But if you offer it as free, at least put the line item down there and then strike it out that way they're getting it for free and they can see it there. Rachel, good morning to you. Rachel's a real person. Like that might have sounded, but Rachel ordered us from us this week, and I totally screwed up. I grabbed the wrong print. I sent her stuff, and then she did a ready to press transfer. So I grabbed it, put it in there. Okay. And then she sent me an email last night that says, "This isn't what I ordered." Yeah, I'm not perfect by any means and make mistakes, but we'll get it right, print it out, and get that shipped to her. So thank you, Rachel, for the initial order. Sorry we screwed it up, but we'll get that new one out to you there. Yes, the premium is a great option to add in. What would your 4 choices be? Ooh, okay. So if we're going 4 choices across it, right? A lot is going to depend on your client. What are their needs on it? But you can't go. You've got that 100% cotton is going to be your bottom end. And then you can go with a 50-50 blend. And then you can go with like a ring spun cotton. And then you can go with like a tri blend. So those would be, I guess that if we're going 4, that would be mine, 100% cotton, a 50-50, a ring spun, and then a tri blend. So that way you're there. Now, the good thing is if you're going to start doing that, all you can do is just order those 4 shirts, right? Order those 4 shirts. You go into a meeting, hey, here's the shirt samples. Here's 100% cotton. You're going to create to me, it's always a lot easier when I create a price list as far as printing. Here's what it is if we're doing this, this, and this at quantity based on it, because you can show, yeah, these are our prices. We're just not, yeah, we're going that. No, here's what we have for it. But here, you can actually feel it. You can touch it. Putting product in people's hands, it changes it, right? That changes the way things work, because now they're like, ooh, now this makes sense. So if you can say, all right, so let's say at 100 shirts, single color print, one location, right? So that 100% cotton, that one's going to be $7, right? That 50/50, that's going to be, $8. That ring spun cotton, that's going to be $9.50, right? And then that tri blend is going to be $11.50, right? So they can see, oh yeah. So you can feel, here's the difference. For $1 more, this is what you're going to get. For $1 more, this is what you're going to get for this. So they can see, feel, touch, and that takes that form. And then it's like, what do you want your message to say? Do you want your stuff around this? That's going to be in a, that's going to end up as rags in the garage in the bottom drawer that nobody ever opens, or do you want them to wear it a little bit more? It's your brand that you're putting out there, especially on like bar shirts, business shirts where they're reselling stuff. Like, you are trying to get your name out there to be seen so people have it. Don't you want to offer something nice? Don't you want to be perceived that, or do you want to be perceived as the cheap company that used these boxy, heavy, 100% cotton shirts? So that's what we got there. That is odd that SNS is not at DAX. That's her neighborhood. Yeah, that's what I thought too. The Indy is Graphics Pro Expo, I believe, is what it is there. Indy has about 200 shows a year. I think it is Graphics Pro Expo for it. Thank you, Rachel. Great idea to have 4 basic samples on hand. Yeah, I mean, you're ordering shirts anyway, so you're going to spend what, another $15 tops on shirts. And this way too, you can bring it in to see what it feels like. If say you're sticking with Sanmar's house line, the Porton company. All right, here's 100% cotton. Here's a 50/50. Here's, pick out the stuff that you like to use, the colors that are in the palettes that you need, and go with it. Yep, here's what it is. Here's our sample packs. Okay, with this one, yeah, single color print. Because you can have, here's the samples for it. Okay, let's open up our portfolio and see, okay, we want single color print, single location. Here's your price, and here's your quantities on it. Oh, you want, 2 locations? Here's the price on it. Okay, we want to go to a 2 color. Here it is with single location. Here it is with 2. Oh, we want to go full color, because anything to me over, 2 colors is a full color design. Here it is with, a front location. Here it is with a back location. Anything else extra on there, because you can just have the way that you can do it is you can build it a couple ways. It's just t-shirts. Like, here's what it is for the t-shirt, right? Here, you're fully printed in that. Well, what you run into is, if I'm going to do this on t-shirts, what happens if they go to like a hoodie or a crew neck or a long sleeve? So you can have your t-shirts listed, and then at the bottom, hey, if you want to go with a long sleeve in the same style, it's going to add $5 to the cost. If you want to go to a crew neck to this style, it's going to add $9 to the cost. And then if you want to go to a hoodie in this style, it's going to add $12 to the cost or something. You'll figure out your pricing, have it there. So everything is right there with them. Here, or you want additional location, each additional print location, add whatever. So you're just creating your own sales flyer, and then you just build it as you go. And it's very simple. You go out, boom, here it is. Here's what we got for it. Taking notes from what you've all said. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. You're very welcome, Jerry. Thanks for that. And I do bar shirts, $11. What kind of material are you using there, Don? Are you using 100% cotton? Are you using 50/50? Are you using 100% ring spun? Are you using tri-blend? What are you doing for it? Is the design a single color location, single color, single location? Is it multi? Tell us more, Don, if you wouldn't mind. You're very welcome. I will, you know what? I think it's Graphics Pro Expo that's coming. I guess I could look. I just got my magazine yesterday. I could go up there and look. There we go. Then I upcharge for left chest name 3. Yeah. And that's the thing is you have the upcharge with it, and let's go. See, look, which shirt and how many colors for locations for 11. Let's see, Gildner, whatever I find under $4, 1 location DTF print, so full color. Yeah. And for us, I don't necessarily know if, let's see. Let's see. What am I looking for? I had something on here, And I don't know if I still have it on my phone. It could be not on here. Yeah. So for our retail side of things, just to kind of give you an idea with it, full color front and back, right? It's left chest, full back, doesn't matter, any combination of it. We don't get down below, let's see, we don't get to $12 until they do 50 shirts, and that's for a single. You're basically looking at front only. We have price, whatever the hell it is. Quantity 16, front, is 1875, front and back 2750. You got full color front and back. You want cheaper prices at 50, you're going to pay 12 for the front, 1750 for front and back. So we try and create that there. It makes it super simple, for them to decide, hey, what are we going to do? And when you say, hey, at 100, it's 950, this is what we can do. You just put it out there and go with it. Yep, you did the prints for the 55 shirts. We did. Yeah, we did. We did those. Because that was the design that we weren't 100%, we weren't 100% sold on. I was like, let's get you a sample and see what it looks like. Because you don't always know, right? And here's the thing. Don says, am I in the ballpark? Because I struggle also. So 55 shirts for us, retail, at 50 they're at $12, at 75 they're at $10.25. So yeah, you're in the ballpark for it. What we do is we all can't price the same, right? Because everybody's overhead is different. Your overhead is different than mine. Everybody is paying difference for shirts. Some people have case volume discounts, some people don't. Not everybody gets their transfers from the same place. So there's different factors that go into that. And that's why it's hard to say this is what you should charge. What I can tell you is you should know your numbers. And then from there, then you can figure out what your pricing is. So every time we get something new in, I got the pricing calculator. I can put in the product. I can put in what is the whatever it is, decoration method that I'm using, how much that's going to cost. I know how many we can do an hour, and it'll tell me, hey, this is what it costs me per hour, to make that shirt. So then I have, I have that number, and then we can adjust our margins to see where it needs to be on it. So right there. Let's see. You make sure when you do your pricing that you build up for when they order lower quantity. Absolutely, you do. Let's see. We double the shirt plus $3 per location. First price break is 50, and even doubling the shirt. I mean, sometimes we triple, quadruple on what happens when we screw up, right? Are those prices including the shirts? Yes, those prices were including the shirts. Larger quantities, not lower. Yes, I got it. Got shirts from $269 from Michael's out of sale. Don, get with me when you need shirts. We can drop ship you, and I'm almost positive they're going to be a lot cheaper than that. We do that for a few people too, that they don't have their reseller's license. They don't have that. And so they're like, hey, can you order me in shirts? Yeah, we can do that. We can drop ship you shirts, and we can say, here's what your cost is on it. Here's what you're doing for it. Because like on 100% cotton, well, you could probably say, yeah, what are those going for? It's been a while. Corey does that. Corey handles that side of the ordering things. So I'm not 100% sure what we're paying for it. But yeah, we can do that. You tell us what you're looking for, and we can get you some options, and we can just get them drop shipped to you. And really what we do on it is I'm not going to bullshit anybody. We do a markup on it, but the markup that's on it pretty much just covers our time to do it. We're not making like killer money off of it, but we've got to make sure to cover enough for here's what shipping is, here's what credit card charges are, here's what things on that. So we can be pretty good with it. And at least you get a bigger value or better selection than just getting over at the Michaels or the Haba, and seeing from there. So yeah, we can do that. All right, we've gone extra long today, and I need to get stuff going because we got stuff to get going because that storm is a brewing and it is a coming, and we need to get that going. So we'll be back here next Monday. Maybe we'll be able to talk about what the future holds for everybody because we start up the second quarter, and then we'll talk about the first quarter goals. So I'll make sure to post those. Oh, let's see. Do you leave that person with any info after the meeting? Do you leave that person with any info after the meeting? So they have our info there. Here's our card. Here's everything there. And then we follow back up with them. Here, when's a good time to meet? I'll have something to you. You set the tone for it. I'll have something for you in 2 days. Do you want to set another call? You want me to give you a call? Do you want to set a meeting? What time do you want to do that? Don't give them, hey, if today's Friday and you're meeting with them, say, hey, I've got Wednesday available. Do you have, a spot between, 8 and 10 on Wednesday morning, or a spot between 2 and 4 that's available? Those are what I have open. Can we meet to go over this again? And a lot of it comes down to that timeline house. And like, yeah. Yeah, and that's what we're finding out what everything is for it. That's what it is finding everything it is. So, yep, we're going to stay here. We're going to get out of here. You guys, I'm telling you, thank you for stopping in. Make sure to like, subscribe, do all that stuff for us. It always, it helps the channel grow. That definitely helps us get from there. Anything else that I think is pressing? No, we'll be back here Monday morning. Yeah, Monday morning with Morning Mindset. We'll be back here. So until Monday, peace, love, press on. We will see you guys next time.